All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Staff, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Alexander,
Here.
Commissioner Campbell,
Here.
Commissioner DeBrava,
Here.
Commissioner Ellis, Commissioner Hayes,
Here.
Commissioner Hyder, Commissioner Mann.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioners, have you had a chance to review the agenda for tonight?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Hayes,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBrava,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell,
Aye.
Commissioner Alexander.
Aye.
All right, we'll move on to approving the minutes for tonight, or for last month. September 11th, wasn't it?
Motion to approve the minutes.
I second that.
Commissioner DeBrava,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell,
Aye.
Commissioner Hayes,
Aye.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Alexander.
Aye.
Patrick, are you reading the meeting procedures?
I will.
Thank you.
The Planning and Zoning Commission holds public hearings as required by law and provides recommendation to City Council on matters relating to land use planning, zoning, and the subdivision of land. Any person who has an interest in the subject matter of a hearing will have the opportunity to provide testimony and present evidence to the Commission during the public hearing. Speakers are required to conduct themselves in an orderly and respectful manner. Disruptive behavior, including applause, yelling, speaking out of turn, or other inappropriate behaviors will not be tolerated. Additionally, the following applies to any person addressing the Commission. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes unless authorized additional time by the chairperson. Speakers must speak at the podium unless previous arrangements have been made by the chairperson. Speakers must legibly print their name and an address on the sign-in sheet at the podium prior to speaking. Speakers must begin by stating their name and address, and speakers should speak clearly and into the microphone. The chairperson will announce the subject of the hearing, followed by a report from staff. The chairperson will then open the public hearing to the applicant, followed by those in favor of the application and those opposed to the application. The chairperson will close the public hearing. During this time, the commission will discuss amongst themselves. The public may not address the commission after the close of the public hearing unless requested by the chairperson. The Planning and Zoning Commission shall base their recommendation and/or decision on information and evidence presented during the public hearing. This decision, if required by the application, will be forwarded in writing to City Council for further consideration.
Thank you, Patrick. Tonight we have one public hearing as PDD 23-005. Public hearing and possible vote to recommend the approval of an application to change the zoning classification of approximately 28.88 acres located at the 7200 block of West Farm Road 170 from Kirkwood Estates Plan Development District PDD to amended Kirkwood Estates Plan Development District PDD. Chris, will you read the staff notes?
Thank you. Chris Tabor, Buildings Department Principal Planner. Kyle Kirk and Kirkworks LLC have applied to change the zoning classification of approximately 28.88 acres of property located at the 7200 block of West Farm Road 170 from Kirkwood Estates Plan Development District PDD to amended Kirkwood Estates Plan Development District PDD. The property subject to the rezoning is comprised, again, of 28.88 acres of land and consists of a total of 57 parcels. The current zoning for that site is Kirkwood Estates Planned Development District, PDD. Lot 1 is the site of Kirk's Collision Center and Auto Repair Shop, while the remaining lots are all vacant. The City Council approved a previous development plan for this site on July 26th of 2022 by the same applicant that is very similar in use and design to the proposed plan. The new proposal, however, includes a reconfiguration of the residential portion of the development plan that allows for 50 lots, lots 7 through 56, adhering to the required standards of the medium-density single-family residential, R1M, zoning district, while lots 1 through 6 remain as commercial use lots that will meet the City of Republic's general commercial C2 zoning district regulations. The applicant is proposing the rezoning of this property that will consist of 2 separate uses, commercial and single-family residential. Lots 1 through 6, the commercial lots, are roughly 10.26 acres and are designated as commercial use lots adhering to C2 zoning district. While lots 7 through 56, that acreage is off there. I'll have to double check that acreage. Are designated as residential lots, use lots, and will adhere to the city's single-family medium-density residential R1M zoning district regulations. Screening and parking requirements will be in compliance with the City of Republic's adopted municipal code. The development plan will also contain new water, sanitary sewer, and stormwater systems to support the development. The required secondary arterial street, Bailey Avenue, and local streets to support the development. As far as consistency with the Planned Development District Ordinance, the purpose of the Planned Development District regulations is to allow for mixed-use, unconventional, or innovative residential, arrangement of lands and public facilities, which would be difficult to develop under the conventional land use and development regulations of the city. Planned unit developments must demonstrate substantial congruence with each of the following conditions in order to be considered eligible for approval. The proposed development plan shall involve a mixture of variation of land uses or densities. The Kirkwood Estates is a residential and commercial mixed-use development consisting of single-family and commercial lots. The proposed development plan shall involve the provision of all infrastructure deemed necessary to adequately serve the potential development. The Kirkwood Estates PDD development plan includes provisions for municipal water and sewer services, a plan for stormwater management, and the construction and dedication of a secondary arterial street, Bailey Avenue, identified in the city's major thoroughfare plan. The proposed development plan shall involve design elements that promote the City of Republic's comprehensive plan and other adopted plans of the city. The City of Republic's comprehensive and land use plan promotes the expansion of commercial and residential development in locations supported by the city's water, sanitary sewer, and transportation networks. The Kirkwood Estates development can be adequately supported by the city's capacities for water, sewer, and transportation. The proposed development plan shall involve design elements intended to lessen congestion in the streets, to secure safety from fire, panic, and other dangers, to promote the health and general welfare, to provide adequate light and air, to prevent the overcrowding of land, to avoid undue concentration of population, to preserve features of historical significance, to facilitate the adequate provisions of transportation, water, sewerage, schools, parks, and other public improvements. The Kirkwood Estates development plan includes the construction of a secondary arterial street, Bailey Avenue, identified on the city's major thoroughfare plan. The street will connect the development from East US 660 to West Farm Road 170, and then to the south property line of the development. The city's comprehensive plan generally encourages the expansion of residential and commercial development through proactive rezoning of land at appropriate locations. Appropriate locations are described generally throughout the plan with regard to the relationship of land at particular locations to infrastructure capable of supporting various intensities and densities of uses. The 2021 Comprehensive Plan and Land Use Plan identifies land use goals and objectives relating to development as follows. Goal 1. Support market conditions to develop a greater variety of residential options. Objective 1. Support a variety of housing developments and styles to ensure a range of options are available. Goal 2. To support new development that is well connected to the existing community. Objective 1. Encourage development that improves and expands upon existing infrastructure. Objective 2. To promote development aligning with current adopted plans of the city. Objective 3, to support the development of vacant parcels as opportunities for densification that is harmonious with surrounding development. Goal 3, to recognize potential infill sites as opportunities for development. Objective 1, to support the development of vacant parcels as opportunities for densification harmonious with surrounding development. The subject site is surrounded by existing agricultural, commercial, and residential zone properties and uses. To the north is East US Highway 60. To the south is Greene County Agricultural. To the east, medium-density single-family residential R1M, Greene County General Commercial. And to the west, local commercial C1 and general commercial C2, Greene County General Commercial. The land uses permitted in the applicant's proposal are considered to be generally compatible with the surrounding agricultural and residential zone properties and uses in proximity to the subject parcel. Portions of the proposed development are currently served by City of Republic sanitary sewer and water service. The remaining portions of the development not currently served by these utilities are in proximity to these services. The proposed development will connect to existing gravity sewer mains in the area. The effluent will travel from the development to the McElhaney Lift Station and then to the Schuler Creek Lift Station before being pumped to the wastewater treatment facility. The development will be served via a looped water system connecting to existing water mains parallel to East US Highway 60 and West Farm Road 170, and to an existing water main located in the subdivision to the east. The exact location and size of the water mains required to serve the development will be determined during the infrastructure design process. The water system, existing lift stations, and the wastewater treatment facility have sufficient capacity to serve the proposed development at full build-out. The development plan includes the construction and dedication of a new secondary arterial within the development area known as Bailey Avenue, which is identified on the city's major thoroughfare and transportation plans, in addition to multiple local streets to serve lots within the development. The applicant provided a traffic impact study, or TIS, memo reviewed by MoDOT and the City of Republic to analyze the impact of the traffic generated from the proposed development. The results of the TIS memo indicate that the development warrants a right-in, right-out at the intersection with East US Highway 60. These improvements are required during the initial phase of construction of Bailey Avenue from West Farm Road 170 to East US Highway 60. The transportation improvements required to support the development are the responsibility of the developer. The city will be working with MoDOT and the applicant throughout the development process, including during construction of the required transportation improvements to support the development. No parcel within the development will have direct access to East US Highway 60 or West Farm Road 170. The development plan contains areas designated for stormwater retention detention, designed to accommodate stormwater generated by the development. Additional stormwater areas and/or easements may be required through the engineering design process. The stormwater retention detention areas, drainage easements, and all open space common areas will be owned and maintained by the developer and/or a property owners association. The subject parcel does not contain any areas of special flood hazard area. The subject parcel does not contain any identified sinkholes. All developments must include site design providing for sufficient emergency vehicle access as well as fire protection facilities. Additional elements of code compliance evaluated at the time of infrastructure design impacting the development of the subject property include, but are not limited to, the city's zoning regulations, adopted fire code, and adopted building code. The next steps in the process of development of the subject parcel upon a favorable rezoning outcome will be the development, review, and approval of an infrastructure permit for the construction of utility services and roads. Staff considers the proposed zoning map amendment rezoning to planned development district to be generally consistent with the goals and objectives of the comprehensive and land use plans, generally consistent with the trend of development in the vicinity of the site, generally compatible with surrounding land uses, and able to adequately be served by municipal facilities. Specifically, the proposed development can be adequately served by the city's municipal water and sanitary sewer systems, as well as the city's transportation network. Based upon this analysis performed without the benefit of evidence and testimony of a public hearing, staff recommends the approval of this application. And I do want to go back and touch on the total acreage for the residential areas. It is 11.72. I was doing the math from the total in my head and didn't take out for the streets and everything, so that's why I thought that was wrong. But yep, we do recommend approval on the application.
Thank you, Chris. At this time, we'll open the public hearing to the applicant or a representative. No? Okay. Only if willing. Okay. And for the record, anyone in favor of the applicant other than... Okay. And also for the record, anyone opposed to the application? All right, we'll close the hearing. Y'all have any questions?
Motion to vote on the recommendation of approval for PDD 23-005.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the recommendation of the PDD 23-005.
Commissioner Campbell,
Aye.
Commissioner Hayes,
Aye.
Commissioner Alexander,
Aye.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBrava.
Aye.
Thank you. Since that's the only thing that was on the agenda tonight. Does staff have any other business?
Staff has no department or comprehensive plan updates.
Okay. And is there any citizen participation? For the record, no. Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
That was quick.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Hayes,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBrava,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell,
Aye.
Commissioner Alexander.
Aye.